Hello guys and welcome to an immensely special mixing video to celebrate my live playthrough of Colorblind by my band Fifth Empire. I'll be taking a look at how the mix for the whole Observe album went down. They're separate sessions, but they're similar drum, bass, and guitar tones. It's just the fucking amount of tracks and synths that Xavier sends me. He was the main composer for this album. It was all old stuff that he had written prior. And it's going to be cool for those of you that like the basses, the drum, bass, and guitar tones. And we could take a fun look at some of the other pieces. This is going to be hard to run. I hope the session runs. Right, we might have a little trouble, but if I turn off the master bus processing, oof, we get a bit of an easier time. So yeah, let's go piece by piece. Let's start with the bases of the mix, which is the drums, bass, and guitars, which are, if you like the tones on Euphoria, on Brushes, or on Sinking Into the Void, they're the same tones as here, so let's get onto it. So this kit was a very old kit I built. I'm not sure if I ever showed it in a mixing tutorial. Oh my god, look at old Invasion cropping out. Man, this is going to be the most fun tutorial of all time. So this is a blend of the Invasion kit, and kick and cymbals, modern and massive snare toms. Oh, I remember this kit. Right. And there's a one China from Superior. And Ride and Splash. My favorite China of all time, 19-inch Savian Extreme on the Metal Foundry. Oh, geez. Wow, man. And let's see. Unprocessed drums were this. And we made it into this. Let's see what went into that. So the kick undergoes this transformation. Wait, okay. This compression immediately gives it some snap and attack, but to not lose low end, because compressors can give you consistency and cut low end, I put the mix at 50%. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the snappiness and consistency of the processed signal, and you get the low end bloom of the unprocessed one. My favorite drum EQ, because I always crank a little bit of saturation. This makes my drums sound a little bit more real, warm. And what's going on here? The tiniest bit of compression to help level it as well, and it's mostly about the high-end boosts and low-end cuts here. So I'm just making the kick brighter with this, 8K and 2K, and cutting at 800 and 200. R bass is the way I like to generate the low end bloom of my kick. So you choose a frequency and an intensity, and this just helps your low end attack in length. Big difference. L1 for ultimate dynamic control. And this EQ is automated at the beginning to make the kick go softer, as well as a reverb on the snare, just for this entry bit, I'm sure. Yeah. To make it be soft. Snare. From this. Right, that's what it sounds like. Oof. Oof, session's going slow. Right. Brightening and cutting mids on the SSL. Oh, given it some attack with the SSL compressor, interestingly. So I really like the 30 millisecond attack on this. I used to. Now I would just use a rouser. But this attack setting is very conducive to a popping snare. Wow, hitting it pretty hard as well. R bass for low-end beef. Kind of boomy. JST clip. I'm not sure if it's even clipping. I didn't know how to use it back then. Yeah, it was boomy. So I cut in the 400 region with the old Reaper EQ. Limiter for dynamics. And plate for the soft part. Okay. Toms. They all go through a big bus, which I guess makes them a lot fatter. But individually, they have a compressor. Hit a part with tom. Oh my god. Look at this fucking song. Man, we're crazy. What the fuck is this? Compressor levels it out. That's what compressors do. EQ makes it less honky and more bright. That's what EQs do. But this guy always gives it a little bit of that warmth. Clip makes it loud and clipping. That's what clip does. EQ, removing a hum at 95. All of them have a similar thing, and they all go through a fattening bus, which is usually what I like it to do on toms. So this density guy is free, and it gives you some, this is called color, and it's basically some warmth in the form of saturation. So little toms in this song. That's the hi-hats, whatever. Compressor with the same settings as the snare. Just blaze over toms, fuck it. More saturation from this. I'm just trying to make him beefy and beefy and beefy in the bus. And then L1 cuts off the peaks so that people focus on their sustain and not their attack. There are so little toms on this fucking song, man. Big difference without the bus and with the bus. Very pleasant sound. Quite happy with these toms. So, cymbals. The brass bus immediately got an EQ. Mainly about cutting the 4K here and a little bit of honkiness in the mids. And refinement was my poor man's soothe back then, which I still use today to hit a different spot. Still makes stuff softer. Very nice. Close hi-hat microphone. Shouldn't be too much. Cutting low end. Limiting. Overheads. It's cymbal time and compression is very important for me on overheads. This is very light compression though, right here. It just makes it look like the cymbals are being hit harder. And EQ is usually to soften the 4K area. There you go. Not a lot of saturation on overheads and a very clean overhead as a result. Rooms. Room close, I usually just leave on these libraries, the Nolly ones. I'll leave unaffected. Maybe saturate them with this. I want this to be a very real version of the kit to blend in with all the very processed stuff. Room 4 is where I make it just like a snare channel and smash it with compression. Bruh. And just kill the snare. It gives it this unreal length, like he's hitting everything normally, and then the snare is like hit with a fucking water bottle. make it brighter for the snare decay to be brighter. There's not a lot of cymbal information. I mean, there is, but it's important too. And mono, yeah, it's just snare and toms being trashed by the saturation and overly bright and bassy with a pull tech. Still one of the coolest sounds I've ever managed to do. When you blend this in, snare just goes mad explosive. To glue this on the bus, you got more saturation from this boy. Parallel compression, which I don't usually do, from this guy. So bus mode, hard, full compression, but just blend it at 15%. Let's see what the 100% sounds like. It sounded Bragian, but we just wanted a bit of that flavor. So that's why the parallel mix is there. This guy puts the snare in check with a very nice attack setting too. And filter the kick low end beneath 32. Yes, man, one of my old drum sounds. So old, but still good on this album. Just to think that I did the Euphoria mix so long ago, like all going on 2 years now. So I might have had this drum sound for, it's coming up on 2 years, maybe 1.5. Then it was all about automation, mostly on the bus, of course, and on the soft part. I'm so sorry. So the soft parts always have -1 dB on the volume and -4 dB on the room. Cool. Together with low velocities really helps. Snare is less roomy, everything is less roomy. And then, here we go. Big explosions there. That's the more important drum stuff. Dope. So bass sounds, there's 2 different bass sounds on the album. Basically, one is lower gain and one is higher gain. So when there's very important note definition from the bass needed, there's a low gain version of Joel Wanasek Boss Glue bass. It's been grit A the whole album, but one of the channels has 40% and the other one has 100 and it's boosted. So limiter, low end EQ, I guess. Yeah, basically straight out of the plugin. And we switch to the high gain one here. I ended up playing bass on this song. Jesus. Merci. Let's go big gain. And of course, where's another big gain moment? Here. Here, of course. Cool. Here's a cool thing. This is Xavier's original distorted note from the demo, and I put that distortion on top of my distortion. So it just sounds like pain. But whatever. There's bass here because I put the bass synths close to the bass to make sure that their balance was close. Whatever. I made sure I filtered them correctly and limited them. This helps give the part some beef, constant beef, while the guitar does chugs with the bass. What can I say? Same here. Just reinforcing. Because the original bass is playing notes, it's not doing that bass line. Together. It helps keep a constant sense of a chord, and it lets the bass do a more solo-y bit. All right, so guitars, very much like the bass, there's different gain versions of the guitars. The bass line for the album tone is just... No, wait, what? Amp 3? Because the bass line for the whole album is amp 2. No! Right. The rest of the album is all amp 2, cab 4 on the Will Putney, which sounds like this. Very mid-rangey. Literally no EQ. What the hell? And I think that gent guitar is that too. But the gain is on 7. And apparently, most of the song is on the normal chords guitar, which is amp 3, which is a Mesa, which sounds a little bit more mid-rangey. Carries the chords very well. A lot of softening here. It's just a very soft sound to carry these chords forward. And on the chuggy bits, it turns to a more gainy version. Fair. I myself am learning from what I did in the past and how I could have improved, and what I actually did pretty good. So best track on the song. That's super important. On leads, so we're switching to cab 1 to make them poke out a little bit. I think cab 3, for example. creamy lead, whatever this is. What is this? My god. So yeah, these fucked up parts. These are Xavier's tracks. Right? I did nothing to them except everything. This is what he had. And I annihilated that. Amp emulation for it to sound like a guitar. Get rid of some mids. Chorus, 100% wet. Into chorus, fucking wet. Into this motherfucker from Waves that just throws your shit all across the headphones. Into low-end filters. Oh my god. Yeah, best part on the whole thing. Chords from Xavier, I bet. Yep. Lo-fi. So usual amp 2 cab 4, but with the filters jacked up here. And put them on a reverb space, and they're a very good layer. Super important. And here are old rhythms that I've muted. These are Xavier's demo tracks. There's some that I have used apparently. Yeah, as lo-fis. So much stuff. Oh, the legendary intro cleans. So my Schecter, of course, with the sentient neck pickup split into SS11X stock. I guess I flipped one cabinet over. Such a good clean tone. Compress a little bit. Chorus a little bit. Little plate the fuck out of it. And filter. Such a good sound, man. Oh, man. Oh. This is some of the most Fifth Empire shit ever. The ones in the chorus, super similar. They just have delay extra. Super important. These are all of Xavier's old cleans. There. There's some pretty bad strings that Xavier had that on the new album I'll be taking care of so much orchestral programming. That's gonna be so amazing, but this sounds lame, and so I just put it as a background layer for fatness, and it helps the chorus. There's the track with all the cymbal swells, very Fifth Empire as well. Super. the all-important piano. I think this is Alicia's keys that Xavier has. Loads of layers doing the same shit. It becomes one massive blend. Just filtering low end. Super good. Layering the cleans. Forgot how big that was. My absolute favorite is the organ, man. I love this sound to death, and it fills out the space so well. Oh my god. Yeah, at this point I'm just showing you cool stuff for cool stuff's sake, right? It's about filtering crazy fizz from these sounds. So fun. What else? Do you guys know what part this is on? So what is this? Of course, the Panic tritone synths, man. The lo-fi one. But these are so important. Without them, what is that? Nothing. The most epic game over sound, where is it? Here. Go. Who remembers this shit, man? Whatever. This guy. More effects. My explosion. Oh. Good old faithful. Use this guy so much. It's on the beginning of the album, Singing Into the Void. And Xavier's legendary crazy vocals at the end.
I can cry.
Mad.
I can cry.
It's all about the reverb here.
I can cry.
Do 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 do. And yeah, guys, I think that's a fun look at the some of the sounds on the Observe album. The bass tones that you can get for yourself if you have similar shit, and even if you don't. My master processing, you've seen it a lot of times. It's the usual, so not even gonna bother because the mix will fall apart in terms of crackling. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much for supporting. Be sure to check out Fifth Empire if you haven't yet. But if you're at the end of this, you're probably subscribed to our stuff. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.